One Chicago gets a surprising extension ahead of Fall 2025 return. The One Chicago franchise, consisting of Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD, takes viewers on emotional, thrilling, and adrenaline-fueled rides on Wednesdays on NBC. The network is adding another aspect to this experience with a brand new podcast that will accompany the shows when they return this fall. Variety reports that the podcast, titled One Chicago Podcast, is an official behind-the-scenes look at the work that goes into bringing the stories to life. The news was announced by Chicago Med star Steven Weber and Chicago PD star Marina Squarciati at the ATX TV Festival. The podcast is yet to find its host, but it will be announced as soon as that happens. The One Chicago podcast enlists series producer Wolf Entertainment and USG Audio. From Chicago Med to Chicago PD, fans can anticipate an appearance from their favorite star. Chicago Med stars Weber, Esapatha Merkerson, Marlene Barrett, Oliver Platt, Sarah Ramos, Luke Mitchell, Jesse Schramm, and Darren Barnett. Alan McDonald serves as the showrunner and executive producer alongside Stephen Hootstein, Peter Jenkins-Siski, and Dick Wolf. Chicago Fire stars Taylor Kinney, Miranda Ray Mayo, Hanako Greensmith, and Dermot Mulroney. Andrea Newman serves as the showrunner and executive producer alongside Reza Tabrizi, Matt Whitney, Jankowski, and Wolf. Squarciati, Jason Begg, Patrick John Pfluger, Benjamin Levy Aguilar, and Leroyce Hawkins. Quinn Siggins serves as the showrunner and executive producer alongside Chad Saxton, Gavin Harris, Begg, Jankowski, and Wolf. Chicago Med, Fire, and PD will return this fall for Season 11, 14, and 13, respectively. The three shows will air at the same time and day as they have for the past several years, with Med kicking off Wednesday's One Chicago lineup at 8 p.m. ET, followed by Fire at 9 p.m. and Med at 10 p.m. Stay tuned to Collider for more updates on One Chicago, including the podcast's host. From behind the iron bars of a Kentucky prison, Todd Chrisley still manages to keep his chin high and his voice unwavering. His signature Southern charm hasn't dulled, even in confinement. He leans into the visitation phone, eyes sharp, conviction radiating from every syllable. "I've always said the truth will rise," Todd declares, "and I'm still standing by it. Julie and I are innocent. We said it from day one, and we'll keep saying it till the day we walk free." The world may have tried to write the final chapter of Todd and Julie Chrisley's story, but Todd is determined to keep rewriting it. No orange jumpsuit, no federal sentence, no gossipy tabloid headline can shake the foundation he's built. One of unwavering love for his family, steely resilience, and an unshakable belief that justice, though delayed, will ultimately prevail. He doesn't speak like a man broken. He speaks like a man tested, a man who's found clarity in chaos. "I believe God put us here for a reason," Todd tells his attorney, pacing the small visitor room like a preacher before a congregation of one. "Not to punish us, but to prepare us for something greater, for the testimony we'll share when this is all over." Julie, serving her sentence in another state, echoes her husband's sentiments in letters and occasional calls. Though the distance aches, their unity remains unbroken. Their children, Savannah, Grayson, Chloe, rally behind them, posting updates, challenging the court of public opinion, and refusing to let the world forget that the Chrisleys are more than a scandalous headline. Savannah, in particular, has stepped into a new kind of spotlight, not for glamour or reality TV drama, but for advocacy. She posts passionately, often emotionally, about prison reform, about the need for fairness in the justice system, about her parents' case. She's even hinted at a documentary in the works. "My dad may be behind bars, she told her podcast audience recently. But he's more free in his mind and spirit than most people out here. And he's not giving up. None of us are. Todd's legal team is already knee-deep in the appeals process. They've combed through transcripts, reanalyzed financial records, and leaned heavily into new legal precedent they believe may shift the tide. There are whispers, just whispers, of potential prosecutorial overreach, of missteps that could unravel the case thread by thread. Whatever it takes, Todd has said, we'll do it, because the truth matters. In prison, Todd has found unlikely allies. Guards and fellow inmates alike have remarked on his composure, his faith, and yes, even his sense of humor. He's like the mayor of the unit, one source joked. Keeps everyone laughing, keeps everyone grounded. But behind the jokes is a man who wakes up every day at 5 a.m., reads his Bible, writes letters to his wife and children, and journals meticulously, preparing, perhaps, for the book he knows he'll one day publish. He writes not out of bitterness, but out of purpose. His journals include prayers, poems, even short sermons. To Todd, every day is a chance to deepen his testimony. And he's watching the outside world closely. When headlines about celebrity misdeeds flash across prison TV screens, Todd shakes his head. We built our name on truth, on being real. We didn't cheat or lie our way into fame. We let people into our home, into our mess, into our love. He believes the court got it wrong. That perception became reality. And reality was twisted into a narrative that fit the prosecution's story, but not the truth. People think if you're wealthy and Southern, then you must be hiding something, he said once to his brother Randy during a phone call. But our only crime was trusting the wrong people. And now we're paying for it, but we won't be paying forever. Julie, ever more private, has found strength in quiet prayer and daily routines. From what Todd hears, she's leading Bible studies, mentoring younger inmates, and sending handwritten notes of encouragement to Chloe and Savannah. She's the strongest woman I know, Todd told his daughter. And if she can keep her head up, then so can I. Despite the restrictions, the Chrisleys have managed to celebrate holidays, birthdays, and even anniversaries. Not with lavish parties or reality show glitz, but with phone calls, shared scripture, and unwavering faith. Todd insists this isn't the end of their story, it's the middle of the climb. Mountains don't move for people who whisper, he said recently to a friend. They move for people who shout in faith and dig in their heels. We're digging in. Plans are already being laid for life after prison. A tell-all memoir. A potential second-act reality series focused on faith, resilience, and reform. Even advocacy work, Todd wants to shine a spotlight on what he calls the deep, overlooked flaws of the American prison system. But all of that hinges on the fight ahead. The appeal. The long legal journey that could still take years. And Todd knows that. He knows patience will be required, and so will grit. Still, he remains unshaken. We're not just fighting for us, he says. We're fighting for every person who's been falsely accused, misrepresented, or misunderstood. For every family that's been torn apart by a system that's more interested in convictions than truth. We are fighting for more than our freedom. We are fighting for redemption. As he stands by a concrete wall, looking out at the patch of grass beyond the fence, Todd Chrisley presses his hand over his heart and says softly, "This isn't where it ends. Not even close. We're just getting started." And with that, he turns back toward his journal, a new entry waiting to be written.